You did not stumble into this moment by chance. Something quiet, persistent, and entirely impossible to name bypassed your logical brain and pulled your subconscious directly to this exact coordinate in time. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. If you have learned anything about the hidden architecture of human existence, you already know that the things which hunt us down when we are no longer looking are always the exact things our soul demanded in order to survive. Carl Jung warned us that until you make the unconscious conscious, it will blindly direct your life, and you will simply call it fate. What you are feeling right now, that suffocating mixture of heavy longing and bone-deep exhaustion, of fragile hope and crushing confusion, is not a weakness. That is your psyche desperately trying to show you a truth your waking mind has simply not been ready to face. There is a specific person in your life, someone who moved through your reality like a storm, leaving absolutely everything rearranged in their wake. And this person loves you, not casually, not conveniently, not in the easy, comfortable, surface-level way that asks nothing of a human being. They love you in a way that utterly terrifies them, in a way that wakes them in a cold sweat at 3 a.m, in a way that makes their ordinary life feel entirely hollow and insufficient whenever you are not standing in it, and they are running from it. But they are not running from you. They have never truly been running from you. They are sprinting away from the enormity of what they feel. They are fleeing from the upgraded version of themselves that your love demands they become. They are terrified of the sacred, blinding vulnerability of being truly, completely known by another soul. This message found you because you deserve to finally understand what is happening behind the curtain. You deserve to stop blaming your own heart. You deserve to know that the love you have been questioning, the love that has confused you, kept you awake, and made you wonder if you imagine the whole thing, is more real than anything they have ever felt in their entire life. Stay here. Do not click away. This is for you. If you are recognizing this painful psychological loop right now, make sure to hit the subscribe button. We cover these concepts every day, diving deep into the dark psychology of human connection. And you absolutely will not want to miss the tools coming in the next breakdown. You have been carrying a crushing weight, not the kind of weight that other people can clearly see when they look at your face, because you have become extraordinarily adept at carrying it in total silence. You smile exactly when you need to. You show up exactly when you are asked to. You move through your daily routines with a stoic steadiness that most people around you would never dare to question. But in the private, unguarded hours, in the liminal space between sleeping and waking, in the deafening silence after your phone stays dark much longer than you expected, in the micro moments when a specific song plays or a scent drifts past that instantly resurrects their ghost, you feel it. You feel the heavy, sinking weight of a love that has not resolved itself, the dull ache of a rare connection that never received the ending it deserved. Maybe you have asked yourself 100 times in the dark exactly what you did wrong. Maybe you have obsessively replayed old conversations, desperately searching for the exact moment the energy shifted. Maybe you commanded yourself to move on, to let go, to be highly sensible and rational, and then found yourself quietly and entirely against your own strict instructions, still thinking of them at the end of a long, ordinary day. You are not weak for this. You are not foolish. You are not someone who loves too much, feels too deeply, or holds on past the point of reason. You are a person who recognized something authentic, and authentic things do not simply evaporate because we instruct them to. The long nights you spent wondering if they thought of you, they did. The moments you felt the heavy silence and questioned whether any of it meant what you believed it meant, it did. The version of yourself that deeply trusted this connection before the toxic doubt crept in was not naive. That version of you was paying close attention to something the waking, rational mind is always the absolute last to understand. You were seen in this love. You were chosen in this connection, and the agonizing confusion you've been living inside is not evidence that you were wrong. It is absolute evidence that what exists between you and this person is far too large and far too real to be filed away neatly into the ordinary, boring categories of human coming and going. Your pain is not a sign that love failed you. Your pain is a signal that love found you, and it has not finished with you yet. To truly comprehend why this specific person is running, you must first understand a psychological mechanism that Carl Jung spent his entire life trying to explain to a world that was not always ready to listen. Jung believed that every single human being carries within them a dark continent he called the shadow. This is the unconscious, locked away collection of everything they pushed down, denied, and refused to look at directly. It holds the fears they will not admit, the emotional needs they learn to be ashamed of, and the desires that feel far too large or dangerous to claim out loud. And here is what Jung understood with terrifying precision. The exact moment a person encounters someone who illuminates that shadow, someone who makes the buried, hidden parts of them completely visible and undeniable, their instinctive, biological response is not always gratitude. Very often, it is pure terror. This person does not run from you because you are too little. They run from you because you are entirely too much. You are too real, too present, and too deeply aligned with a truth inside them they have spent decades refusing to face. Your love does not allow them to remain comfortable in the shallow, heavily defended half-life they carefully constructed. And that is not a small thing. That is, in fact, everything. Jung also spoke of a brutal psychological process he called individuation, the lifelong, agonizing work of becoming whole, of integrating every fragmented part of the self, including the parts that have been historically hidden or violently denied. This process, he warned, is never comfortable. It demands immense courage. It demands that a person willingly enter the darkness inside themselves and stubbornly refuse to look away. You, entirely without intending to, have become the mirror in which this person is being asked to begin that monumental work. When they look at you, they do not simply see you. They see the ultimate version of themselves, the version that is actually capable of real love, of raw vulnerability, of true intimacy completely, without armor or performance. And that vision, that clear, unavoidable reflection of exactly who they could be, is the most frightening thing a fragile human ego could ever encounter. So they run, not because the love is absent. The love is present. It is so completely, overwhelmingly present that it has disrupted every careful, rigid structure they built to keep themselves safe. They are not running away from you. They are running from the person your love is demanding they become. And somewhere deep beneath the fear, beneath the thick armor and the years of self-protection, they know that person is exactly who they were always meant to be. But here is exactly what you need to understand right now. In this exact moment, with everything you just heard sitting quietly inside your chest, their running is slowing down. You may not be able to physically see it yet from where you are standing. The silence may still feel exactly the same. The physical distance may still look identical to what it has always looked like. But entirely beneath the surface of what is visible, something massive has shifted. Jung would tell you that when the deep unconscious has been disturbed, when the shadow has been illuminated, and the painful process of individuation has officially begun, it cannot be undone. The psyche, once fully awakened, does not return to sleep. This person is in a fundamentally different psychological place than they were before. Not dramatically on the outside, and not in ways that have announced themselves with any clarity yet, but internally, in the private, guarded architecture of their thoughts, in their dreams, in the quiet moments when they are completely alone, and the loud noise of their own defenses finally goes silent. Something is different. They are thinking about you in a new way, not with the frantic, panicked energy of someone trying to escape, but with the slower, heavier quality of someone who has stopped, turned around, and is standing very still, staring intensely in the direction they came from. There are subtle signs already present, even if you have not yet known how to read them. A slight change in the texture of their absence, a micro moment of contact that lasted just a beat longer than it needed to. Something in the exact way they have responded, or carefully chosen not to respond, that carries a heavy weight their casual behavior cannot fully disguise. The universe, as Jung understood it, operates through synchronicity, meaningful coincidences that carry the undeniable fingerprints of something far larger than random accident. The very fact that you are sitting here, receiving this specific message at this exact point in your story, is itself one of those powerful synchronicities. Something is moving. Something is shifting in the invisible architecture of this connection. And what is coming toward you is not nothing. Carl Jung spoke of the collective unconscious, that vast, invisible ocean of shared human experience that flows beneath every individual mind, connecting souls in ways that geography, silence, and deliberate separation cannot possibly interrupt. And within that deep ocean, the bond between two people who have genuinely touched each other's psyche does not simply cease to exist just because one of them panicked and chose to walk away. It pulses, it persists, it surfaces. They are dreaming of you. Perhaps not every single night, but in the dreams that carry real weight, the ones they wake from slowly, the ones that leave a heavy emotional residue across the entirety of their following day. You appear in those dreams not as a fading memory they are processing and releasing, but as a living presence that belongs there, as something deeply unfinished, as someone their sleeping mind outright refuses to categorize as the past. During the waking day, in the quiet spaces between tasks, obligations, and the daily performance of their ordinary life, Their thoughts find you entirely without permission. They will be in the middle of something completely unrelated, something that should command their full attention, and a vivid, specific thought of you will arrive uninvited, and it will take significantly more effort than it should for them to set it aside. They pause when they see your name, whether that is in their phone contacts, in an old buried message thread, or in a casual conversation where someone else happens to mention you. There is a pause, brief, highly controlled, completely invisible to anyone watching, but real. The kind of pause that a person who truly did not care would never have to perform. And they compare. This is perhaps the most telling psychological symptom of all. They meet new people. They engage with the world. And in the private, locked courtroom of their own mind, comparisons happen that they absolutely do not invite and cannot seem to stop. Something in a new person will be almost right, and that almost is exactly where you live. You have become the ultimate standard they measure everyone else against without meaning to, without wanting to, and increasingly without being able to pretend otherwise. This is not a toxic obsession. This is the deep psyche recognizing exactly what the fragile ego is trying to refuse. This is love doing exactly what love does when it is profoundly real. It refuses to be reclassified as something smaller and more manageable than it actually is. You must understand something about yourself that you have perhaps been too modest, too wounded, or too caught inside your own doubt to fully accept. You are not an ordinary person to love. This is not cheap flattery. This is a psychological and spiritual truth that Jung's entire body of work points toward. Certain rare souls carry a depth of feeling, a quality of presence, and an intuitive intelligence that is genuinely scarce in this world. You are one of those souls. Jung spoke of the anima and the animus, the deep feminine and masculine archetypes that live within every person, representing the ultimate ideal of what love and connection can be at their highest truth. When a person encounters someone who genuinely embodies that ancient archetype for them, the experience is unlike anything ordinary attraction could ever produce. You did that for this person. You walked into their life, and something ancient and knowing inside them clicked and said, "There, that one. That is what I have been looking for." And that profound recognition did not come from nowhere. It came from who you are, from the way you love fully, without the casual, distracted half-presence that most people offer each other, from the depth you bring to absolutely everything you touch. You awakened something in them that no one else had ever reached. That is not something that fades. That is a once-in-a-lifetime recognition, and deep down, they know it. But here is the part that requires your absolute, undivided attention, because everything you have heard until this moment, the validation, the revelation, the understanding of why they run, means absolutely nothing if you walk away from this message and return to the exact same patterns that kept you waiting in that agonizing space between hope and certainty. Listen carefully. This is the instruction. Stop chasing, not just because you deserve to be pursued, which you do, profoundly and without question, but because Jung understood a fundamental law of transformation. You cannot pull another soul to the door of their own becoming. You cannot love someone into their courage. You cannot wait quiet, invisible desperation for a person who is still fighting their own shadow, and expect that your desperation will magically make them feel safe. What draws them back is not your pursuit. What draws them back is your wholeness. Your work right now is to become so fully, so unapologetically, so radiantly yourself that the version of you they fell in love with does not just persist, it expands. It becomes something even more undeniable. Stop explaining yourself to people who are not ready to understand you. Stop softening your edges to make someone else comfortable in their avoidance. Stop measuring your core worth by the response time of someone who is too frightened of their own feelings to respond with honesty. Start choosing yourself the way you have been desperately waiting for them to choose you. Protect your peace as if it is sacred, because it is. Invest the immense love you have been directing outward back into the interior of your own life. The moment you stop standing at the edge of their world waiting, the moment you genuinely turn toward your own life and begin living with the fullness it deserves, something shifts in the invisible field between you. They will feel it, not metaphorically. They will feel the withdrawal of your anxious attention like a sudden drop in air pressure, and it will do something to them that no amount of waiting or explaining ever could. It will make them move. What is coming toward you is not another cycle of distance and longing. What is coming is the resolution. A moment is approaching where the running finally stops, where they find themselves in a quiet moment alone, and the full weight of what they have been avoiding lands on them with a clarity that can no longer be outrun. When they reach out, the armor will be down. They will arrive not as the frightened, defended version of themselves you have known, but as someone who has finally made a decision, a love that supports your dreams, from someone who has done enough of their own inner work to show up without condition. You were being made ready for this, and you are ready now. If this deep dive into the psychology of unresolved attachment finally gave you the answers you have been searching for, please click the video right over here on the screen. It perfectly breaks down the next critical stage of emotional detachment, showing you exactly how to protect your own peace moving forward. And you will absolutely want to watch it right now. Stay strong, trust your reality, and keep moving forward.